Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Eye Mystic Tarot. This is just a quick reading. I had pulled a few cards on a situation dealing with this mother-daughter duo that was doing a mukbang on YouTube at one time. And you may remember them. I can't remember their name. But if you know who I'm talking about, you can leave it in the comments. But they, used to do a food review, and it was a daughter and her mom, a black woman and her daughter. You know what I'm saying? Trying to remember some of the stuff, like they were funny, to me, but they got some issues now where she put her daughter out. You know what I'm saying? And it was like her mom, got some issues with her siblings. So her mom and her aunt don't get along, which is her mom's sister. But she invited her mom to her graduation. It's your mom. You know what I'm saying? She gave her an invite and stuff. And but anyway, she gave her mom an invitation and she gave her aunt one, but her mama didn't go to her graduation due to, the fact that her aunt was coming. So her mama felt like, if you really wanted me to come, basically, you wouldn't have invited my sister. Me and my sister don't get along. We don't talk. You know what I'm saying? So why would you invite my sister if you want me to come to your graduation? You know what I'm saying? So her mama didn't come. Okay. But her daughter was looking at it like, I'm your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Even if you came to my graduation inside, somewhere else, at the ceremony, you didn't have to sit with your sister. You just was invited to my graduation. Like, you didn't have to come with her. You know what I'm saying? So I guess she didn't even want to be seen by her sister and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But she put her daughter out, and her daughter was saying, a lot of other stuff, kind of led up to her mom being the way she is toward her. She felt like her mom never really liked her anyway, and she, free of her mom's control and stuff, some of her ways and stuff since she was in elementary. That's how she feels since she done moved out, and graduated. She said, I feel freer and happier than I ever been, possibly since elementary. That's what she said. But, at the same time, she had some issues with moving out of one of her mom homes, because every time she said her mom would get mad with her, she would talk about using the house as an Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? But she said that was only when her mom would get upset with her about something. Four of Pentacles. So I pulled a few cards. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it as I'm going, but, that's the whole of it. But she had some issues with, possibly, having her boyfriend dad come in and try to help her get, some things out. But her mom, went as far as locking her out the house to even get the stuff, and having the police call because her mom had took the keys, to get in the house to get her stuff with her when she left to go to the bank and do some other things. And she was like, well, can you just leave the door unlocked so I can get my stuff? Or, give me some time to get my stuff out. But she's like, I'll be right back. You wait out here. Waited. And then she said she felt like if she hadn't called the police, her mama wouldn't have came back at all, just to spite her. Page of Pentacles in reverse. You know what I'm saying? But I pulled a few cards, so I asked, what was going on with the mom. Four of Pentacles came out. Like, what's this underlying thing going on with her mom? So, Four of Pentacles, like she, got some fixed ways, you know what I'm saying? She's stuck in her beliefs, you know what I'm saying? She got some fixed ways about her, fixed attitude, you know what I'm saying? Mindset is my way or the highway, you know what I'm saying? Inflexible, stubborn, you know what I'm saying? The need to control. So even if it's, her breadcrumbing her own child, using, making her, work for her affection and things like that, her love, her support and things like that, it comes at a cost. You know what I'm saying? Like she's, wanting you to keep pouring into her, but don't want to give you much back, but intending on this staying that way. I'm going to be inflexible. I'm gonna purposefully not work with you, and things like that. So then I asked, why was she like this? What is this about? It's the food. Her daughter going on a journey. You know what I'm saying? She taking a leap of faith, to go explore, to go see, what life is like. You know what I'm saying? Life is life, and out here, let me get out here and be responsible. Because if my mom gonna keep wanting to turn the house into an Airbnb, I'm gonna have to pretty soon find me somewhere to go, because it seems like ain't nothing. It ain't a day that go by. Maybe that her daughter. This what I'm getting now, just channeling her energy. When I was looking at her video and I was listening to her, and I'm talking now, and thinking about, all the times I watched a mukbang, like you could tell, her mom has some fixed beliefs, she got some ways about her, but that's just video, off camera, you never know what people really like, you know what I'm saying? But even being an empath, you don't have to know people to live with them to know what they're going through and if they're genuine and if, but it's about you protecting your energy while you know, feeling others. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your energy from others. You know what I'm saying? But it's about her daughter going on this new journey. She could be an air sign, don't have to be, but she's, going on this journey. You know what I'm saying? She choosing a new path. She ready to explore, get out there, see what's owed to her, what she embark on and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if her mom gonna keep, threatening to put her out or, not wanting to provide for her or limiting what she do, for her daughter, because she want that control instead of respect. You know what I'm saying? But what does her mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the future actions in the situation? In the Page of Swords came out, and it's like, you know, moving forward, her daughter gonna want to know like what's going on. She gonna want to know what's going on with her. Is she with somebody? Is she married? What they over there living like? She still with that boy. You know, where's she working at? What's she doing? Or it's like, trying to find ways to say something or do something, to express, you know what I'm saying, what it is she need to say or how she wanna get her point across now. You know what I'm saying? But it's curiosity questions. It's like being curious as, having new ideas that you got, to go forward and say something, when it comes to wanting to know like where you stand with another person. But Five of Pentacles in reverse, like somebody is having to deal with, some debt, like coming out of the cold. Her mom may have to deal with, some type of, bankruptcy or, having maybe to file that or having to, clear some debt, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to accounts or something like that, or just bills. You know what I'm saying? So she may have to be mindful of what she invests in and not take any risk when it comes to her money now. Four of Pentacles, because Five of Pentacles in reverse, like, or this is, something that, her daughter gonna have to be mindful of. But I feel like it's her mom. But let's clarify this Four of Pentacles, because you got the Tower at the bottom of the deck with the Three of Wands and the Five of Cups in reverse. And it's like somebody resisting change. Like, somebody still got some lessons to learn. Like they still have some things they need to see before they can, really say that they can apply themselves, in a effective, productive kind of way. And she could be feeling hurt, you know what I'm saying, discouraged, in some way or something like that. But that's, just the fact that she gonna have to pull herself, up by her bootstraps or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She may not have liked, her daughter decisions, and stuff like that, but it don't make it easy for somebody to Nine of Swords, can't get no sleep, you constantly in your head about, if this is gonna be my last day at this house, you know what I'm saying? And if I don't make some type of plan, if I don't, try to figure something out, ain't no telling when I'm gonna be. Because I feel like her mom did that at a time where she wanted to be able to control her daughter being able to be stable. She wanted her to be in debt somewhere, or not on time with something, or not had the money, to get something done, even though she had the dream. It's like she was creating obstacles for her. And it was like, if you don't, it's like, even if your daughter want to move out, it's like her mama saying, I'm gonna put you out before you can be able to move out. I'm gonna put you out before you can afford to, you know, um, take control of this situation and show me, just how mature or how knowledgeable you are. You know what I'm saying? And like her daughter said, the way her mama was treating her and how things had started to be the closer she got to graduation, she knew it was important that she graduated. Like, she knew it was important that she finished school, because she knew that would be another thing her mama would be talking about and bashing her about and putting her down about, if she like that. I was even more motivated to graduate because of that. So it's how you use, negative energy that come towards you or that you're dealing with to transmute to something positive for you. But people don't realize you back people into a corner to manipulate them. You'd be surprised just how fast, their intellect, what I'm saying, and their mindset, develops, some type of survival strategy, what I'm saying, to get through something. And you don't want somebody to end up, yes, you do. If you, put somebody in a bad situation more often than most, and even leave them by themselves or keep putting them in, creating obstacles for them, you're just going to continue to, cause their wisdom and knowledge and growth to happen even faster, because they having to find, ways to overcome that obstacle. And you keep putting obstacles in their way, they just going to keep jumping hurdles in your face, and it's going to piss you off even more. It's like somebody, putting a hurdle, in front of you, and then you put a higher one after that. Oh, okay, you got over that. Let me see if you get over this one. And you spend so much time trying to create blockages for somebody that you upsetting yourself, because you create an obstacle for them you wouldn't even get through. You wouldn't even jump that damn high. You would have gave up on the first one. Probably wouldn't even did the first one. You know what I'm saying? Clarify the Four of Pentacles, but her mama just wanted to be inflexible. You know what I'm saying? Very stubborn. They need the control, baby. Domineering. Like, what's the Four of Pentacles? Why the Four of Pentacles? You got the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Cups. Somebody didn't want, like I said, this is somebody that did not want to, this is a taker. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that, wanted now to, like, if her daughter moving out, or her being this way was, her way of holding back penny pinching or something like that, trying to breadcrumb, the situation, her daughter, whole situation. It's like, somebody now, is having to recoup, from some loss, the confusion of how something ended up. Because this person was looking for this to be a success, to keep, whatever clarity, to make a sound decision for her daughter. She was doing this to keep her from making that decision. Because the Ace of Swords is at the bottom of the deck in reverse. She was, hoping that, at the bottom of the deck in reverse, she wanted to keep, something from being made clear to her. You know what I'm saying? If she knew her daughter could manifest or was manifesting, she did not want her to see things, clearly, or be able to receive the messages, being high vibrational. She kept her low vibrational for a reason. But she wanted to, the more her daughter kept putting into her and trying to make, things work between her and her mom, doing stuff to try to, make up for that moment, or last night, or yesterday, or last week, make her happy, do something, together. Let's go do this. I do your hair. Child, she was just taking, you know what I'm saying? Because she was trying to, use that as a way to get more out of her. So, you know what I'm saying? She felt like she, that was, how she gained her success. You know what I'm saying? Like she was like, I don't know if she was using her daughter, image and her creativity, to get from her. You know what I'm saying? To pull from her, whatever it is. Like I want to be part of whatever she obtained. Like I want her to, give to me. Whatever her success is, I want her to, I want whatever success she has to be under my control. I want to be able to control that and have, some say over it. You know what I'm saying? That shit crazy. Yeah, because you got the Six of Pentacles in reverse with the Nine of Cups. Like someone was looking at that and, looking at her daughter as like material success. You know what I'm saying? Like she was not reciprocating. This is somebody that was breadcrumbing their own damn child. Now they're recuperating, from some type of lifestyle that they, used to having. It's crazy. Like it's like she having to, she was being this way. Her daughter wanted to, have some type of security where she could be able to, to have some type of peace. Hmm. That's crazy. What's the Six of Pentacles in reverse? I have had the Six of Pentacles in reverse because I feel like, when it comes to like her not reciprocating something, because being very generous with the Six of Pentacles in the upright, you have to be mindful of what you putting energy into because some folks, will have you pour into them and don't put nothing into yourself. And that's, like an energy vampire. It's like somebody, wanting to keep you around, to pull from your energy and just get all kind of, good blessings and get all kind of, be all part of anything coming in for you. They want to be part of it. They want to control it. You know what I'm saying? And this is like somebody that's a taker. And somebody gonna have to find some other way, to secure their lifestyle, like some, to bring them some type of peace. Cause now, somebody was looking at somebody else as material success. Like looking at that, them ways of being, that's going, I'm gonna be like this, and that way I can control, this person's blessings, coming in. I want to be part of it, something like that. What's the Six of Pentacles in reverse? Clarify. What's the Six of Pentacles in reverse? Yeah, Ten of Wands. With the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Somebody on the bad side of karma now. Somebody on the bad side of karma now. I'm always gonna have to wait till she, her turn come around on this wheel, baby, because she weighed down, burdened now, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of responsibility, things that she may have not, want to have to deal with once her daughter left. Yeah, the person ain't gonna have no control over their circumstances now. Like whatever control she used to have, she ain't got it no more now. Like if her daughter was helping her with something and making a little money, a little cheese, what I'm saying, off of the YouTube channel and stuff like that, her mama sharing that, or they had a little, had a little run with that. She got a new house, got, other things, from whatever she do for work outside of YouTube and stuff like that. Now it's like, she having, to deal with that stuff on her own now. Like her daughter, contributing or helping her out, manifesting over there, using, her good energy, her, her communication, her, manifestations and stuff to help out. And it's like, she where she at right now, in her situation. Like, she having to deal with that stuff on her own now. And I feel like, she fantasizing now about, what she want to do, or she was fantasizing about, what she could do, with something. If something was this way, we get this, I can do this, I can do that, but you got to do something, you know what I'm saying? You got to be committed to something. You can't just do something and then back off and not do it. So if she wanted to turn that house into an Airbnb and be a success or do something, you know what I'm saying, she weighed down with doing this shit on her own. Now she gonna have to pay somebody to come in and possibly get that house ready or do that cleaning and doing all that stuff herself now. She not gonna have that help. So whatever she was, looking to do, you got to take some action toward whatever it is you fantasizing about. Whatever she talking about doing, I'm gonna turn this into an Airbnb. Okay, we'll do it then. You got to put the work in. You got to do it. You can't, just bring it up as a, way to control this person going to do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? Now she burdened way down. Clarify the food. Clarify the food. What's the food, Holy Spirit? Hold on. What's the food? Yeah, the 9 of Wands. With the 3 of Swords in reverse. Libra energy. Yeah. So she taking a leap of faith, but it's gonna probably come with, by her being able, what I'm saying, to stand strong. Like, she could be recovering now, from the action she done had to take, to get where she at. Because right now she enjoyed, I think, her new apartment or whatever. But the transition, from her mom, one of her mom's homes to her own place, and having to get on the road. So wherever she was already at and moving to Georgia, like, it's like her mom wasn't going to give her that support. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to keep it from, being something that she take off and go do, and she don't have no control over her daughter or the situation or her daughter's business affairs and things like that. But now that she, done took this leap of faith, you know what I'm saying, to go on this journey, like, she's had to be strong, and face whatever challenges that's coming towards her, or that she know gonna come towards her. You know what I'm saying? But it's like just being, cautious, what I'm saying, and defensive, when it comes to whatever it is to come, or whatever she know, she may have to deal with being on her own now, knowing where she is. She may not have any family there. She, may have family. I'm not sure, but you got the 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck in reverse, 2 of Swords in reverse, 2 of Pentacles, and the Empress. So at this point, it's like, somebody may be upset, but because, what I'm saying, her mom and her are separated, it may be, what I'm saying, her mom taking it hard, what I'm saying, accepting the truth about the situation. Like, it is what it is, what I'm saying. She can't be blaming, other people, for the fact, that, this situation or this separation happened. Because like she said, she didn't want to be like this, with her mom. She was trying to, do the respectful thing, you know what I'm saying, when it come to respecting her mom. But her mom was just making it, the more respect she gave, or the more, she silenced herself, you know what I'm saying, and accepted her mama treatment and stuff like that, or handling her, and how she, would bring other people into their business, but then didn't want her to have. Her mama is all, it's okay for her mama to tell everybody was her version of the situation, but her daughter speak up. It's like she started airing out her daughter dirty laundry. You know what I'm saying? She start, getting even more crucial, you know what I'm saying, with her words. And it's like now, three of swords in reverse. Like, she gonna have to be responsible for, instead of blaming somebody else, for this separation. You know what I'm saying? And she could be feeling helpless at this time, like, to make some changes, especially when it's one person that don't want to cooperate. It's one person that don't want to, be truthful about, why they, like, why something is, so impossible. Like, why they making discourse so impossible. Like, what's the real reason? Because I feel like it's because, I don't know if it's because, her daughter got a boyfriend or something like that, or his daddy support them and stuff like that. Because she said her boyfriend dad offered, she asked her boyfriend dad if he would come in, but she asked her mom first because that's her mom's house. But she asked her mom, like, hey, can I ask, his dad to come in and help us take my bed down? Because it's taking too long for me to get all these screws out, by hand. Her mama didn't say nothing. She intentionally did not respond. So the minute she stepped to the door and was like, hey, can you come in? Or can we get your drill, to take the bed down? She said her mama told her no. She said she asked her mom, do you have a drill we can use? She said, yeah, but it's not for you. Obstacles. You know what I'm saying? So every time she would find a way to, get something done, her mom would shoot it down. But then she asked her mom, who is the control guru, the control freak, she refused, to offer assistance. You know what I'm saying? She did not want to. If you need me, I'm gonna make sure I'm not available to you in your face in front of everybody else too. And then she told her daughter, yo, he not coming in here, he on your side, he not coming in here. She was like, why he need to be on, why is it about him being on my side? Why he need to be on somebody's side? I'm asking him for a drill to take my bed down. You don't want to let me use the drill you have. So I was like, child. And nobody wants to get in, other people parenting situations. But when they old enough to speak for themselves, and we, pride our kids about, using their voice, you know what I'm saying? Speak up for yourself. It should not just be okay for them to speak up for themselves with outside people and not be able to respectfully say, how they feel with you. Like, they supposed to have this safe space with you too as a parent. If they can't go to you, who else? You know what I'm saying? Like, no parent should be so hostile and so strict that they can't trust coming to you. If you make them fear you, if you make coming towards you so impossible, then you give them no other choice but to look elsewhere for answers. Instead of you just saying, I don't have the answers, or, this was how people, how my mama did me. This how my mama did my sister. She always gave my sister, more than me. And this woman may have been like this with her sister for years. Now they got kids. Now, it's playing out, this mama's relationship with her sister is playing out with her daughter. And now that her daughter's trying to invite her aunt to a graduation, her mama is like, no, I'm not coming because you invited my sister. So it's like this is a sibling rivalry that somebody done had since they were children. And ain't no telling, the root of the problem started when they were children. You know what I'm saying? Now they adults, and now they children is starting to, get into their young adulthood, and they having to deal with their parents' bullshit, childhood traumas, childhood rivalry, sibling rivalry and shit. Yeah, this girl, and she said it. The Two of Swords in reverse. I'm looking at this card at the bottom of the deck. I remember her saying that, her mama just made it impossible, for her to even speak out and say nothing in the past, even now, because her mama too busy, like, not wanting to accept the truth about a situation when she talk about something, when she speak about something, it's always making herself the victim. It's always making herself out to be, the one that's being talked to, the wrong way, being treated the wrong way. All these, conversations being had is all about me. It's negatively about me. Nobody's on my side. And her daughter, like, you don't want to take accountability for, what's being said because you're so busy trying to be the villain, the victim. You know what I'm saying? But now, she juggling, means of income and stuff like that, or her daughter, is was juggling, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, she making decisions, you know what I'm saying? She balancing out her priorities, you know what I'm saying? Learning, what it is and being careful, mindful of what she invests in now. Like her mom might be juggling now, you know, when it comes to, how she handle things financially, like her energy, or her daughter's having to do this. Yeah, by her being this divine feminine, this empress, because it's 9 of Wands, like 9 of Swords. They wanted her in her head. You know what I'm saying? There's no communication, no contact or something like that. Like she has got, her mom in her head. You know what I'm saying? Like she having some sleepless nights, or she want her daughter. She wanted this, you know what I'm saying, to be that way. Yeah. What's the fool with the 9 of Wands? What's the fool with the 9 of Wands? 10 of Pentacles. With the Devil. The 2 of Wands. King of Wands in reverse. And like I said, she got a new home. She got a car and stuff like that. But there's like this devil energy she that she is dealing with when it comes to her mom. Like she could feel, like there's, a low vibrational, what I'm saying, energy, around her and her mom. Like there's, this low vibrational, or like a demonic, attachment, you know what I'm saying? Or there's like, this dark, this darkness, this, can't even explain it. It's like a suffocating, like, relationship. Like, somebody's, energy is very low, and it could be lower than, most people her daughter has ever been around. Like, like I said, she said this is the happiest she's been since elementary, since she done moved out and got away from her mom. It's like the further away she done moved from her mom, the more peace that she done, got. But it's like her, like this morning, she got a message from her mom about, or somebody that knew her mom, and it had her pacing all over the room to the point where she had to, like, lay the phone down and talk, and catch her breath, because she was like maybe talking and not even knowing she was holding her breath, like talking without even breathing. Like she had so much to say, she was so agitated, and she was saying, she needed to catch her breath. I needed, get myself together. Like, yeah, you need to not give energy to something, because she pulling on your energy. She needs whatever this entity, whatever this demonic, whatever this negative energy, this darkness is that surrounds her mom. It's feeding off of her daughter. And when her daughter is gone, it's like it's finding, her mom find people that she can use to manipulate and do her work for her. So somebody texted her daughter and was like, good morning, speaking all nice, like like the devil do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a devil do now. Hey, good morning. Hey, beautiful. Hey, this, hey, that. It's fucked up how you did your mama. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the message, basically, was what was said. And she, kind of, it triggered her. And she was like, y'all don't even know what's going on. And even though I'm saying it in, video after video, y'all not listening. So apparently this is not somebody that wants to hear what's really going on. They just already done decided they're going to take my mom's side, because of their relationship or how they know my mom is, as far as they know. But what I was getting out of it is your mama wants somebody she can control, even her friends. And it's like your mama is your lesson. You know what I mean? And it's sad to say because I had to go through that too. A lot of us have. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to not have a relationship with your mom. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people that ain't like us, will say, we always come from broken homes. We the only, possibly the only people that come from so many broken homes. All the homes that's broken be from us. Okay? So when you got a mom as well as, people saying dads is hardly ever in the home because, as we see now, most of our dads is either in jail, or dead. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way, society want us to see a strong black man in our life is either dead or in jail. They don't want never, for a stable family to be something that we can say we thrive on and we done made a life for ourselves from. You know what I'm saying? The life we make for ourselves is the choices we make. It's not just because we got a mom and dad. We at some point we're gonna have to make decisions for ourselves in order for that upbringing and that knowledge to be useful for us to, be productive individuals ourselves. Not just, children to our, what I'm saying, offspring. But it's like she got a new home, a new car, you know what I'm saying? She gonna have to stand her ground, when it comes to the things that she may have to be faced with and challenged with, being, on her own. You know what I'm saying? But also dealing with this negativity, from the connection that she have, the responsibility, this bond that she have. It could be a karmic soul type. She may need to do a cord cutting when it comes to her mom. Because, once you come out that womb and come through that portal, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got a bond. You know what I'm saying? And it's deep. It's more than just what's on the surface of what she's saying. This is a soul tie. You know what I'm saying? So at this point she may have to do a cord cutting because until she do is whatever energy her mom, holds and the bond that they have, she gonna constantly be in her energy. You know what I'm saying? Manifesting, tapping into her energy, trying to pull on her energy in any way she can. She needs it. You know what I'm saying? She's been abundant with it ever since this little girl was a baby. Okay? So now that she see that she's on this discovery, you know, exploring, going after the truth, you know what I'm saying? She don't like the fact, especially if she looking at it's because this king of wands in reverse is giving like somebody, that they ain't gonna block you, or she looking at her boyfriend like that or something like that. But it's like, they won't block you, but they won't, even extend the olive branch to you either. They ain't gonna go out of their way to help you either. And you could say, well, I'm like, well, I ain't trying to block her, I ain't trying to stop her, but you ain't trying to help her either. You're not. She not trying to help her. And it's like, her daughter understanding like three is a crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like the devil living in your mama head, you know what I'm saying? Rent free, all up in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like some betrayal, you know what I'm saying? Some deception, you know what I'm saying? Lies. Because we got this Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah. Clarify this Page of Swords. What's this Page of Swords? Because when it came to, them curiosity questions, like she could be wanting to know what her daughter doing or like what's going on with her, who she around, and that'd be good. What's the Page of Swords? What's the Page of Swords? Because it's like some creative ideas, you know what I'm saying, that somebody want to, like somebody communicating back and forth, texting, like trying to see, or like, what she say? Because she did say her mom, had somebody possibly messaging her, saying stuff to her and stuff like that. I feel like, if it is, it's probably your mama herself. It's probably somebody that, your mama been talking to, man or woman. It probably is one of her followers or something that, is reaching out on her mama's behalf, getting on her daughter ear. But like she said, if you're not willing to hear the truth for both sides, don't message me. But my thing is, shit, I go through, to be honest, I ain't gonna listen. When I block somebody, I go down their whole damn friend list and block everybody on their damn friend list. Every damn body. Don't even know them and don't give a damn. You, that's just, you know what I'm saying, how much I don't give a damn, don't want to be bothered, don't want to hear from you. I mean, if I knew you had common sense enough to know if I don't respond to something we done, if I knew you had that much common sense to walk away, leave me alone, I wouldn't have had to do that. But if I know that ain't gonna be enough, and you gonna try some way to reach out and say something that you want me to see and respond to, I'm just gonna take that extra step of measure and get your ass on out the way, and your people too, and anybody think like you. You know what I'm saying? And I do the same thing in person. Straight like that, in that order. What's this Page of Swords? She could be an air sign. She could be an Aquarius with this fool out here in the Page of Swords. Clarify the Page of Swords. Who asking these questions? Yeah, somebody in Hermit. Self-reflecting. So, got the Justice in reverse with the Strength in reverse. Yeah. Like her mom could be in Hermit. You know what I'm saying? She could, later on, moving forward with this Page of Pentacles. I mean, the Page of Swords. She could later on, go into Hermit, you know what I'm saying, do some shadow work and self-reflect, get some type of spiritual guidance or something like that when it comes to her, possibly looking at something from a different perspective. But, you got to connect with the universe in order for you to silence, meditate more, get by yourself. And this a long time is what she do with it. Her being, free of her daughter right now, and her daughter not being around, she might need to use that time to, harness her energy and, what I'm saying, channel her energy and focus more on, meditating and getting, to her spiritual, assignment. Because I feel like as long as she keep, dealing with the fact that she, want to keep something going, you know what I'm saying, to prove a point or something like that, or to throw, abuse her power or whatever as a parent, like, to manipulate the situation even more, it's just going to take longer for her to get the lesson, for things, to pan out, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoever this is that is normally in power, yeah. Because I remember she said her mom, she had to call the police on her mom. Especially when it comes to yeah. And she could be feeling like, the police department is not treating her, fairly and stuff like that. And, her daughter may be feeling this way too. She may be, you know, festering behind, or her mama festering, feeling like, um, or her talking about how her mama, how unfairly she was being treated. Yeah. Like she gonna have to, focus more on herself, and, her own needs. Because I feel like at some point, she can't keep giving to a situation that somebody, you can want all you want for a person, but until they want it for themselves, you're not gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying, get through to them. I don't give a damn if it is your parent. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to these curiosity questions, like whatever, Page of Swords, moving forward in the future, like she gonna have to, go within, like do some self reflecting, because this is like somebody actually dealing with some inner demons, like settling, or ridding your life of, things that don't belong, people, you know what I'm saying, things that come with, dealing with certain folks. You know what I'm saying? Like this is somebody, ridding themselves of that, like cutting people off. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be afraid or be resenting the fact that you having to do that. Especially when it comes to things that you done let the past creep in and fuck up in the first place. Because the Page of Swords, it talks about that um when it comes to changes, you know what I'm saying, and mental clarity, like you have to be aware of like the things that you being shown when it comes to how you see things, and the things that may have been the underlying issue as to why you even felt like you needed to go that route, or you had to look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? But it's like somebody wants some type of mental clarity. It's like, how do I, do this? Or how, what if I say this? Or what if I do that? What if I buy them this? Or what if I, um, fly out and go do this? Or, what if I, get something delivered to their house or something like that? How do I, it's like somebody, getting some type of spiritual guidance with this hermit. Like somebody either being given spiritual guidance or they giving it. You know what I'm saying? To somebody about something, because it's like somebody actually wanting to make something right, but they have to look within, like at they self, because even the justice talks about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the strength in reverse talks about that. And it's like you have to get a clear view of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to look at the person in the mirror and actually be honest with if you done being at your best, if this is the best you can do. Is this the best version of yourself you can be? Or can, something about you be better? And what would that be? You know what I'm saying? Only you know what that is. Nobody should have to tell you or, make you feel like they, being critical of you. You know what I'm saying? When they tell you what they need to work on. If you go to a therapist and they give you some things to work on, and telling you to practice this, write this, tell yourself that, make days like this where you doing this or doing that, you doing what they tell you to do. So what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? If it's meant to help you, why do you feel so threatened? Why you feel so triggered by it? Why you feel like it's taking, like it's giving, somebody like making you feel like they're trying to control you by giving you an assignment? The Most High God giving you one all the damn time. Every time you overcome one, he come another. But that's what you said in the ethers you would do. Come here to learn, to gain knowledge. How you gonna gain knowledge if you come in here thinking you already got the damn answer? Came through that birth canal shit, you forgot about every damn thing. It's gotta come back to you. What's the Page of Swords with the Hermit? Clarify the Page of Swords with the Hermit. Got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the World. So now somebody feeling, like whatever they were trying to do, like I said, whatever somebody was trying to do with the decisions they were making, you know what I'm saying? The actions they wanted to take to arrive at something, they felt like, especially if they know living at a distance, you know what I'm saying? They may have to travel more to go see this person, you know what I'm saying? Even if they do, come to some type of common ground, you know what I'm saying? They already at a distance, you know what I'm saying? And it's like somebody curious as to know what somebody doing, how they doing, where they at, who they with now, they still working here, they work there. You think they know, what I'm doing, or you think they gonna know I did this or doing that, or what if I tell them about this, and what if I, it's something like that. But it's like, there's some unforeseen delays somebody was not expecting when it came to somebody like making changes, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody, was putting things in motion, but they was not seeing, the plan that they put in motion being something they ended up being disappointed by. Okay. Okay, I got it now. So whatever it was that, when it comes to like something happening, when it comes to moving forward, and now that they live at a distance now, it's like now somebody, is not wasn't expecting something, to cause, some type of delay. Like whatever somebody's plans were, to do something, is like didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like saying, I moved here, and somebody saying, because I'm hearing somebody say, you think they gon' what can I say or do like to make this right, or what can I say, to show them that, when I say this, or if I say that, you think they're gonna say this if I say that. What if they don't want to do this? What if I tell them, I need this, and they don't want to do that? Or what if I give them this, you know what I'm saying? And if I get them something, where they do this, what if I send them some flowers, what if I, gift them this or do that? Like, you think they'll what you think they'll say or something like that. And it's like somebody could be getting some guidance. But like with this Knight of Pentacles in reverse, it's like somebody, an unforeseen situation, that somebody did not see coming, or, happening at a time when they were trying to maybe, relocate, or, waiting on some type of money, some type of, financial security to come in. Like somebody may have been waiting on, like, something dealing with work. Like if a job hiring, and say you got to move there, to get the job and get the money or whatever, like that. So getting there, let's just say Knight of Pentacles in reverse, like somebody get there and it's some type of loss due to some type of something you was not expecting, to hold you up or cause you to like miss an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like something come up and like, damn, I gotta use that money for this. And they may have, wanted to use it to travel, to go somewhere, or I was gonna try to get there this time, make it there in time, because I remember her saying like she had to be on the road by a certain time. And, it may have been like a job or something like that. She needed to be, in a place, or had to get back in time to sign some paperwork, or get back in time, to start a job, be at work or something like that. And you held up at your mama house because you're trying to get some stuff, from her house, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. You're trying to get some stuff so you can make time, get back on the road and be back where you need to be at in enough time, to be at work or be where you need to be at the next day, without having to be late all day. Now that you had to, make up for the time that you spent because, something that you was not expecting to happened. It's like, because she did say, when it came to her moving, her mama, created all kind of obstacles about her getting her stuff, and she had to keep coming back, trying to, make time, to stick around, and wait with her mama to, allow her to go and get the rest of her stuff, or show up at another house to get this or get that. So she won't have to be hearing her mama saying, well, I'm going to throw this away. I'm not going to keep this. You should have got that when you was here. You did anything. Oh, I ain't finna get this to them. You need to come get it. It's like that. It's like, conveniently, like constantly interrupting, or causing something to be an inconvenience for you and making it your fault, you know what I'm saying, or making a big deal out of it, like you don't want to come get it, or you making excuses not to come get it, but when you ready to get it, it's not available to you. Oh, I ain't home, I ain't got, you know what I'm saying, but can you come let me in, that kind of thing. But you got the world out here, so it's like, somebody knowing that they got the, this is the ending of an old cycle. You know what I'm saying? And it's out with the old and in with the new. And she may have to deal with, her mom actually having to, deal with, being a certain way and not want to believe that she, got issues that need to be changed. Like she need to stop using outside influences and things like that to, get her point across, or, listening and involving other people, in situations that ain't doing up but making something worse. Share it in reverse. And like this is things that's happening internally that somebody, could be the changes that's happening in them. It's with their ways. It's the way, they don't have any, they think they controlling what they doing, but they not. You know what I'm saying? What they doing is controlling them. It's controlling them. Like she's not in control of, what she thinks she in control of, she not. Whether it's inner conflict, whether it's, situations involving other people, you know what I'm saying? She can't control them. You know what I'm saying? Other people's, endeavors and stuff like that. Like she's trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's like having a whole bunch of other obstacles going at one time, a whole bunch of other connections going on, other things going on at one time, and thinking you can control, or you can't. It's controlling you. You know what I'm saying? And you got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I mean, the Knight of Swords in reverse. So it's like somebody know they can't come in being aggressive, anymore, and trying to be passive about a situation. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it requires them to have to take some action. Because not doing something, it's gonna come with, some serious repercussions. And I feel like that's, the reason why Three of Pentacles, like something was not working out. Like somebody, could have been stuck at a job or something like that, or stuck, what I'm saying, when it comes to somewhere being somewhere they really don't like. Yeah. And I feel like it's gonna get worse, before it get better with her mom, because she still has to take that responsibility. They both do. But I feel like if she jumped to a decision she had to make because of what she kept being thrown into, like she had to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, I didn't want to have to go the route I went. With my mom, was trying to work things out, but it was just like it's been going on like this. I've been back and forth and up and down with her since I was in elementary. And it's like you just never have a good relationship with your mom, even though that's your only parent. You know what I'm saying? That's your company, you know what I'm saying, your friend, your mama at times, your friend at times, but your mama all the time. That's your mama all the time. So you constantly always having to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Not just of her, but your elders, period. But, with this Chariot in reverse, this is somebody that refused, to internally say that they have an issue. You know what I'm saying? That they got some things they need to work on. This is somebody that want to make it, somebody else's problem. Like, we make somebody out to be somebody that they feel like is, out of their control. Like this is them. You know what I'm saying? They like this, they like that. This is why this like that. Like somebody feels stuck. Shit, yeah, somebody, especially dealing with people they feel like, not being clear about, what decision or what direction, she want to go in. Like she, one minute I'm gonna put you out, the next minute, I'm gonna put you out, put you in, and turn this into Airbnb. The next minute you don't do it, but you don't hear about it no more because now you ain't on that. I'm doing this or did something, that is okay with you, or did something to show you a good time today. So you ain't talking good. You ain't talking like that no more. Now when you get mad at me about something, now you bringing it up again, and that's what she said. Like she, very controlling. You know what I'm saying? And as a parent, you do have to have, some control over your household and shit like that. But not recklessly, to where, that person is damn near like a prisoner. And, they being treated like somebody that you just can't stand. Like you can't just treat somebody any kind of way and then tell them how they ought to feel about it. It's crazy. And especially, when you're talking about the Knight of Swords in reverse, like even in the upright, it's like somebody aggressively being in attack mode all the time. And it's like somebody don't want to be that way. Somebody, they know they don't want to be that way. Because whoever this is, like, they dealing with somebody, or was like dealing with somebody that was overly, very aggressively argumentative. Her mama's very argumentative, but you know, at the same time, this is somebody that don't want to do that. Or this mom is knowing, you know, they being, you know, put in that position where they, you know that they don't want to do that. This is somebody that don't like. This woman daughter is probably somebody I feel like, you know, that don't want to resort to things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when somebody, you know, get rid of that aggression and they just become passive, you know, about a situation and just feel like, you know, something just going, this person just gonna always be like that. And just not accepting something, you know what I'm saying? Like just saying, being passive about a situation and just letting it stay that way because you refuse to take the action. You know what I'm saying? And that just, you know, comes from, you know, needing to establish your own ideas and beliefs. You know what I'm saying? But instead, you just let something go, you know, on the way somebody got people thinking it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how that person is. Like, she don't want to be in attack mode and being aggressive every time she talk about something that, you know, is going on with her and her mom. It's the fact that somebody don't want to come off as somebody equally aggressive every time they talk about it, just because that's what the reaction is that this person want. Like, it's like somebody want another person to look like, oh, that person argue too now. They this, and this. Look at them. And the fact that she showed that video of her walking back and forth and having to calm down, you know, like she said, I got video proof. I got, you know, receipts on, you know, stuff that my mom done said to me and stuff. You know, I got recorded calls between me and her, you know, the stuff that was saying, she be saying, and what I done said. So I know it ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was the case, I wouldn't, you know, call no police and get no police involved. I'd just be on a rampage, you know, like she's saying I would be. But I'm calling the officer because even the officer's seeing. Because she said the officer walked up to her mama car when she did come back home after having her daughter waiting almost an hour, 45 minutes to an hour out in the yard waiting for her to come back from the bank, which was 12 minutes away. So she was like, you know, the police walked up to the car and was like, hello, ma'am, how's it going? And she said that when her mom looked at that man like he had some shit on him. Like, what you over here for? And she said her mama was ready to, you know, give him some attitude and, you know what I'm saying, be nasty toward him, you know, right from the start. And the man even told her, the officer told her in front of her mom, like, if, you know, she has to break in to get her things out of here, like, she'll be well within her rights to do this because her address to this establishment is on her ID. So even if you called us out for her, we're not gonna be able to do anything to her. This is where she stays. It's on her ID. So she was like, oh, who gonna break in? Who gonna break in my house? This and that. So yeah, she, you know, live in attack mode, child. But I'm gonna end it here. Collective, I just wanted to do, you know, pull up a few cards on the reading on her situation or whatever. But I'm gonna end it here, you guys. Have an awesome, awesome day on purpose. I love you. Mwah. Bye.